show, we recap the weeks of Westfield sports such as wrestling, boys and girls basketball, and swimming and diving.
Then Rowan and Evan will fill in on college basketball and football as well as some NFL action. The girls basketball team played twice last week, going 1-1 versus Mount Vernon and Warsaw. Ellie Kelleher highlighted the win over Mount Vernon with 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Reagan Lorenzen also lit up the court with 9 points, all on threes. The Lady Rocks have 2 home games this week. First on Tuesday versus Carmel, and then this Friday versus Zionsville.
On the guys' side, it was a similar story. They won on Tuesday versus Pendleton Heights, but took a heart-wrenching loss on a Friday. The combination of a hot start, Alex Romack being Alex Romack, and excellent free throw shooting got the Rocks their second win of the season on Tuesday. Friday, however, the OT buzzer beater, the boys team took their first loss versus Zionsville. Alex Romack was the main scorer, tallying 21 out of the team's 40 points with 13 rebounds and 2 assists to pair with it.
Well, if Rome was so good, what exactly went wrong?
Well, unlike the Pendleton game, not a whole lot of scoring occurred outside of Alex's points. Excluding Trey Buchanan's 13 points, no one scored more than 5. Only 4 people scored in this game. Alex Romack with 21, Trey Buchanan with 13, Seth Arabia with 5 and a 3-pointer, and Armani Middlebrooks with a free throw. Tied at 38 going into overtime, only 2 points were scored by each team going into the final 1.6 seconds. And then we won't talk about the ending, just know that we lost by 3. The boys team resumes action on Saturday at home versus Gary.
Wrestling had the Shamrock Duels on Saturday, and this week they wrestle versus Warren Central on Wednesday.
Both boys and girls swimming compete at the same events this week. On Tuesday, they compete versus Franklin Central and HSE at home, and then on Saturday, they dive at the Tiger Claw Dive and Fight. All right, now that all the school stuff is out of the way, Rowan and I can talk about collegiate and professional sports. Rowan, given the circumstances of the conference championships, are you shocked at the way the college football playoff ended up?
You know, not really. Other than Utah getting the win against USC in the Pac-12 championship, that was really the only surprise for me. TCU losing to Kansas State in the Big 12 championship, that wasn't too much of a surprise. I knew TCU would eventually lose, but overall, not too surprised.
You know, I'm not really shocked either. The only games that surprised me were the Big 12 and Pac-12 championships. Other than that, about every conference championship went around how I thought it would.
What are your predictions on how the Final Four of the college football playoff will pan out?
Georgia will embarrass OSU, and Michigan will outlast TCU in a matchup that will be close for all of about one half.
Well, on the college basketball, North Carolina is not good. They've lost 4 in a row, and of course, they'll become relevant for winning once again when March rolls around.
I am so glad we're about to talk about college basketball, Rowan. Thank you for bringing it up. Ladies and gentlemen, IU lost. And they didn't just lose. They put up an embarrassing 48 points versus Rutgers. Granted, Rutgers is known for destroying ranked teams, but this was another type of demolition.
But weren't the refs really bad though?
Well, you know, it doesn't matter if you shot 30% from the field.
Well, at least they have Trace Jackson Davis.
You know, too bad Zach Edey is better. Yes, everyone, boo all you want, but you know it's true. You know Trace could never put up 31 points and 22 rebounds. Zach Edey, with help from our friends Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, is one of the best players in not just the Big Ten, but the entirety of college basketball.
Let me guess, Purdue won or something?
Yes, Rowan, they did. They went to Florida State and won by 10, and then won at home in Mackey on Sunday by 19 to open up conference play versus Minnesota.
That's good to see.
It really is. Is there anything else relevant that happened in college basketball?
All right, well, Nebraska beat Creighton. Northwestern had similar success versus Michigan State, and both of these upsets happened when the home team was favored. Utah dismantled 4th-ranked Arizona at home, and it was clear from the start that Utah had it in the bag.
Great stuff, Rowan. Now let's move on to some NFL football.
Big Bengals fan?
You know, no, but I really love Joey Franchise.
All right then.
Speaking of Joe Shiesty, he led the Bengals to their 3rd win in a row over the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has never been madder. Joe Cool only missed 6 throws, and with his favorite target, Jamar Chase, back in the lineup and 3 total touchdowns, that basically secured a W. We should also credit Samaje Perine, who rushed for 106 yards and had 46 receiving yards. Great win for Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
In other news this year, Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy from the draft led the 49ers to a win over the star-studded Dolphins lineup because, of course, Christian McCaffrey. The Packers still own the Bears, and the Steelers edged the Falcons, and the Eagles and Lions both got blowout wins.
The Vikings held on for dear life versus the Jets, but somehow the Jets moved into the playoff picture in the AFC. Deshaun Watson played horrendous football, but behind their defense won his comeback game by 13. Seriously, their defense had 32 fantasy points, just insane. The Ravens won just because of Justin Tucker. That's normal. The Raiders won because of Devontae Adams. That's also normal. And the Giants tied the Commanders.
That's not normal.
No, it's not.
Finally, the Seahawks outlasted the Rams in LA. Tyler Lockett had his annual good game, and DK Metcalf had a little less of an amazing game, but it was still amazing.
That's actually not it because the Colts got obliterated by the Cowboys.
I mean, a 33-0 run to end the game for the Cowboys was enough to win handsomely against the Colts, 54-19, which I'm pretty sure is scoregami.
I saw that too on Instagram, and I think it is too. That's it from us here at the Sports Desk. Stay breezy and go Rocks.